Welcome back to Prop News Time. Here are the headlines for the day. Jaipur Metro Line 2 work to start in 2025, linking key residential and business hubs. Jaipur Metro Line 2, connecting India Gate to Ambabari, is set to begin construction in mid 2025, marking a major boost for the city's urban transport system. The 23.8-kilometer corridor, featuring both elevated and underground sections, will pass through key areas like Ajmer Road, Sodala, Civil Lines, and MI Road. The first phase will prioritize the 12-kilometer stretch from India Gate to Ajmer Road. Funding is being secured from institutions like AIIB and GKIA, alongside state contributions. The project aims to ease traffic congestion, reduce private vehicle use, and stimulate real estate growth along the metro route. Mumbai's Metro Line 14 to connect Kanjurmarg and Badlapur, DPR underway. The Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, MMRDA, is advancing plans for Metro Line 14, a 45-kilometer corridor linking Kanjurmarg to Badlapur, enhancing connectivity to Mumbai's eastern suburbs. Currently, in the detailed project report, DPR phase, construction is expected to commence within a year. The line will pass through key areas like Ambernath and Dombivli, reducing congestion and travel time. Environmental assessments and regulatory approvals are underway. This expansion aligns with Mumbai's broader metro development strategy, promising improved suburban mobility, increased real estate investments, and reduced vehicular pollution, supporting sustainable urban growth. Navi Mumbai Water Transport Project gains momentum with terminals and water taxis planned. The Navi Mumbai Water Transport Project aims to provide a faster and eco-friendly commuting alternative between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, reducing road congestion. Key developments include the Nerul Passenger Water Terminal, NPWT, and passenger jetties along Mumbai's western and eastern coasts, connecting major locations via water taxis. The 1,300 crore Indian rupee Eastern Water Transport Project, backed by CIDCO and the Maharashtra government, will enhance connectivity with South Mumbai, Elephanta Island, and the upcoming Navi Mumbai International Airport. Despite bureaucratic hurdles, the project is set to improve transit efficiency, boost regional infrastructure, and support sustainable urban mobility. India's housing market slows in Q1 of 2025. Sales drop 23%. As new supply falls 34%, India's housing market experienced a sharp slowdown in Q1 of 2025, with sales in the top 9 cities declining by 23% and new housing supply dropping by 34%, according to PropEquity. This marks the third consecutive quarter with new supply below 100,000 units. Bengaluru and Delhi NCR remained resilient, recording a 10% rise in sales. Rising home prices and economic uncertainties contributed to the slowdown, with speculative investors exiting the market. However, demand for existing inventory remains strong, and infrastructure developments are expected to drive long-term growth, particularly in cities with robust employment opportunities. Chintal's Paradiso residents told to vacate towers A, B, and C within 15 days. Residents of towers B and C of Chintal's Paradiso Group Housing Society in Gurugram were directed to vacate their flats immediately. The directive followed a structural audit report by the Central Building Research Institute, CBI, which declared the towers unsafe for habitation. The Deputy Commissioner of Gurugram issued the evacuation order under Section 163 of the Indian Civil Defence Code, granting a 15-day window for compliance. The decision comes after the partial collapse of 6 floors of Tower D in February 2022, which had resulted in 2 fatalities. The district magistrate cited imminent threats to life and property as the basis for the order, further warning of legal action for non-compliance. Mumbai property deals. Aruna Verma acquires luxury apartment in Worli for 68 crore Indian rupees. Aruna Babulal Varma, the wife of Omkar Realtors promoter, Babulal Varma purchased a high-end apartment at Four Seasons Private Residences in Mumbai's upscale Worli locality for 68 crore Indian rupees. As revealed by property registration documents, the apartment spans 5,291 square feet, featuring an additional 310 square feet balcony and an exclusive area of 922 square feet. The transaction was reportedly registered at a rate of 1,29,000 Indian rupees per square foot. Stamp duty of 3 crore 42 lakh Indian rupees and a registration fee of 30,000 Indian rupees were paid for the acquisition. The sale was made by Providence Land Private Limited. Worli continues to attract premium real estate deals, including a recent record-breaking sale by Macrotech developers. Chanchi residents in Nashik request smaller plots in NMRDA's town planning scheme. Residents of Chanchi village in Nashik have urged the Nashik Metropolitan Region Development Authority, NMRDA, to allocate smaller-sized plots in the upcoming town planning scheme. The project, covering 100 acres, aims to provide developed land with essential infrastructure, returning 60% of land to farmers. Villagers argue that smaller plots are more practical for sale and development. NMRDA Commissioner Manikrao Gursal acknowledged their concerns and assured further discussions. Similar schemes in Nashik's Makmalabad area have balanced infrastructure improvements with landowner benefits, reflecting a collaborative approach to urban planning. Mumbai property deals. Ravi Puravankara acquires 12 commercial units in Marol Business Park for 242 crore Indian rupees. Ravi Puravankara, founder and chairman of Puravankara Limited, has acquired 12 commercial units in Business Park 2, Church Road, Marol, Andheri, Mumbai, for a total of 242 crore Indian rupees. The purchases were made through Rockfort estate developer Port Lotade and registered on March 19, 2025. The units ranged from 6,749 to 9,998 square feet, with prices between 15 crore 65 lakh Indian rupees and 23 crore 19 lakh Indian rupees per unit. Naredco launches digital learning hub to upskill young real estate professionals. Naredco has introduced the Naredco NextGen Digital Learning Hub, an online platform designed to equip young professionals with industry knowledge, emerging trends, and policy insights. Launched at the Naredco NextGen Conclave 2025 in Mumbai, the initiative includes certification programs developed in collaboration with leading institutions. Maharashtra Transport Minister Shri Pratap Sarnaik highlighted its role in preparing future real estate leaders. The conclave also discussed plans to redevelop 3,360 acres of MSRTC land, opening new opportunities in district and taluka level regions. Chennai property deals. Cognizant sells Chennai flagship campus to Bagamane. For 612 crore Indian rupees, Cognizant Technology Solutions has sold its landmark 13.68-acre property in Okkiyam, Thoraipakkam, Chennai for 612 crore Indian rupees to Bengaluru-based developer Bagamane Constructions. The property, featuring approximately 400,000 square feet of built-up space, had been Cognizant's India headquarters for over 2 decades. Supreme Court rules government land acquisitions cannot be overturned by private agreements. The Supreme Court of India clarified that once the government acquires land for public purposes under its sovereign power, any third-party rights created thereafter hold no legal standing. The ruling, delivered by a bench comprising Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Sanjay Kumar, established that public bodies benefiting from such acquisitions cannot enter into private agreements to reverse the process. Sayadico allots 7,850 flats under affordable housing scheme in Navi Mumbai. Sayadico has allocated 7,850 flats under its mass housing scheme across 5 nodes: Taloja, Kharghar, Kalamboli, Ghansoli, and Dronagiri in Navi Mumbai. The draw, aimed at economically weaker sections, ACE and lower income groups, ELAG, was conducted for nearly 1,24,000 applicants. Assam CM launches PMAYG letters for 3,88,000 families. Aims to finish houses in a year. Assam Chief Minister Shri Himanta Biswa Sarma has launched the distribution of sanction letters to 3,88,000 families under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin (PMIG) scheme, aiming to complete construction within a year. This initiative focuses on providing safe, quality housing for rural, economically weaker sections. Funds will be disbursed in phases directly to beneficiaries' bank accounts, with strict monitoring through digital platforms to ensure transparency. The government is also integrating water and electricity connections through schemes like Jal Jeevan Mission and Saubhagya Yojana. Assam's efforts mirror best practices from other states, aiming for timely, corruption-free implementation. Mumbai SIT arrests survey officials for land record tampering in Goregaon property scam. The Special Investigation Team, SIT, has arrested a senior city survey officer and a clerk in Goregaon, Mumbai, for allegedly manipulating land records to enable illegal property transfers. The officials reportedly altered ownership details to benefit private parties, leading to financial losses and legal disputes for genuine owners. This case highlights the growing issue of land fraud in Mumbai, especially in high-demand areas like Goregaon. Similar scams have surfaced in Bengaluru and Hyderabad, prompting stricter government measures like digitization and blockchain-based land records to prevent corruption and ensure transparency in property transactions. Rajasthan amends land use rules, ensures compliance with High Court directives. Rajasthan's Minister of State for Urban Development, Shri Jabbar Singh Kharra, confirmed that all urban land use changes in the past 3 years adhered to Jodhpur High Court directives. Amendments to the Rajasthan Urban Land Use Change Rules 2010 have empowered the state-level Land Use Change Committee to approve changes while maintaining legal compliance. The government has also introduced administrative fees for land use modifications to prevent arbitrary approvals. With new rules ensuring transparency, Rajasthan's urban planning aims to balance legal mandates with development needs, reinforcing the importance of structured urban growth. Bombay HC clears Versova slum rehab project. Dismisses stable owners' eviction plea. The Bombay High Court has dismissed a petition by stable owners in Versova, Mumbai, allowing the long-pending Ramdas Nagar slum rehabilitation project to proceed. The petitioners, occupying the land for over 6 decades, challenged eviction notices issued by the BMC in 2024. However, the court ruled that unauthorized occupants cannot dictate terms to landowners or developers. The decision accelerates the redevelopment plan led by One Stop Business Services LLP, which had faced delays due to resistance from 11 remaining structures. This ruling reinforces legal compliance in urban redevelopment and sets a precedent against unauthorized settlements obstructing infrastructure projects. Vakola reclaims public space after 12-year court fight over 3,000 square meter land. Our 3,000 square meter open space in Mumbai's Vakola, initially meant for public use, has been reclaimed after a 12-year battle against illegal encroachment by hawkers. The prolonged effort, led by former corporator Brian Miranda and supported by residents and volunteers, aimed to restore the plot for community use. The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, BMC, recently demolished illegal structures on the site, which had been occupied for years. Miranda's campaign faced multiple legal and bureaucratic hurdles, including a Supreme Court ruling that reinforced the space's designation as a public amenity. The plot has now been transformed into a vibrant garden and children's play area. Karnataka HC. Residential apartments must follow KAO Act, not form cooperative societies. The Karnataka High Court has ruled that residential apartment complexes must be governed by the Karnataka Apartment Ownership (KAO Act 1972) and cannot form cooperative societies under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act 1959 solely for property management. Justice K.S. Hemalikha issued the ruling in response to a petition from residents of Parkside Retirement Homes, Brigade Orchards. The court emphasized that residential apartments fall exclusively under the KAO Act if a declaration deed and bylaws are registered. This judgment ensures legal clarity for apartment governance in Karnataka, guiding developers and owners to comply with state laws rather than defaulting to cooperative society structures. Prayagraj Municipal Corporation sets March 31 deadline for property and water tax payments. The Prayagraj Municipal Corporation, PMC, has urged homeowners to clear their house and water taxes by March 31, 2025 to avoid penalties. Payments after this deadline will attract 12% interest on property tax and a 10% surcharge on water tax. So far, the PMC has collected 95 crore 50 lakh rupees from 1,46,210 properties, aiming for 130 crore rupees by year-end. To improve convenience, a unified online portal with QR code-enabled tax bills has been launched for easy payments. Similar efforts in cities like Delhi show a national push toward digital tax collection, boosting transparency and civic revenue for essential services. Oberoi Realty Board approves securities agreement with Alpha Wave Ventures 2 and Ivan Realty. The board of directors of Oberoi Realty had given their approval for entering into a securities subscription agreement (SSA) involving Alpha Wave Ventures 2 LP, Vikas Oberoi, and Ivan Realty. As part of this agreement, Alpha Wave Ventures 2 LP had committed to subscribing to 277,778 Series A CCPS at 44,999.964 rupees per share, along with 10 Class A equity shares priced at 10 rupees each. This investment, amounting to 1,250 crore rupees, represents a 21.74% stake in Ivan on a fully diluted basis. The board had also approved Ivan's rights issue for redeemable preference shares, intended to restructure funds and repay outstanding loans. Bain Capital set to acquire joint control in Manappuram Finance with 4,385 crore rupees investment. US-based investment firm Bain Capital has signed definitive agreements to acquire joint control in Kerala-headquartered Manappuram Finance, India's second-largest gold loan company. According to multiple sources, Bain Capital is investing approximately 4,385 crore rupees for an 18% stake via preferential allotment of equity shares and warrants, priced at 236 rupees per share, representing a 30% premium over the 6-month average trading price. The deal, regarded as the largest private equity transaction in the NBFC sector, will trigger a mandatory open offer to acquire an additional 26% stake. Depending on the response to the open offer, Bain Capital's holding could increase to 41.7%. Embassy Developments enters 1,125 crore rupees land deal with Lam Research in Bengaluru. Embassy Developments Limited, EDL, one of India's leading real estate developers, has signed agreements with Lam Research, India Limited, for the sublease and eventual divestment of a 25-acre land parcel in Whitefield, Bengaluru. The 1,125 crore rupees transaction will close after regulatory approvals. The deal, executed through EDL's subsidiary Embassy East Business Park, Pavut Limited, highlights Bengaluru's appeal as a global technology hub. EDL's portfolio spans residential, commercial, hospitality, industrial, and SEZ developments, with a strong presence across major Indian cities and a reputation for premium, sustainable projects. SEBI to tighten post-listing disclosure norms and governance rules for SMEs. SEBI plans to implement more stringent post-listing obligations and disclosure requirements for SMEs through amendments to the Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirements (LODR) regulations by early April, following the strengthening of SME IPO eligibility standards. The move follows frequent instances of non-compliance and manipulation within the SME ecosystem. Proposed changes include enhanced transparency on related party transactions, RPTs, board composition, committee meetings, and a shift from half-yearly to quarterly filings, bringing SME governance closer to main board standards. SEBI recently doubled the minimum IPO application size to 2 lakh rupees and curbed misuse of IPO proceeds, reinforcing efforts to protect investors and improve corporate governance. NHB cracks down on HFCs for mis-selling insurance bundled with housing loans. The National Housing Bank, NHB, has taken strict action against housing finance companies, HFCs, for mis-selling insurance policies bundled with housing loans without adequately informing borrowers. Earlier, NHB instructed these companies to obtain explicit consent from customers and to provide insurance options from at least 2 providers. This move follows concerns raised in an earlier meeting this year, where NHB questioned the disproportionate insurance income in relation to the net interest income of HFCs. The regulator's inspections revealed widespread issues, including inadequate disclosures, absence of board-approved policies, and the sale of multiple unnecessary insurance products to single borrowers. Eatonhurst Capital secures 180 crore rupees in first close for Mumbai redevelopment projects. Eatonhurst Capital Partners has raised over 180 crore rupees in the first closing of its 500 crore rupee fund focused on redevelopment projects in Mumbai. The round saw participation from family offices, high net worth individuals, and the Guardian Real Estate Advisory's family office. The capital will support construction, regulatory approvals, and marketing to ensure smooth project execution. With many of Mumbai's aging residential structures requiring urgent redevelopment, Eatonhurst plans to deploy over 60% of the funds within the year, targeting high-demand urban zones. Registered as a Category 2 Alternative Investment Fund, AIF, with SEBI, the firm aims to close the fund by the end of 2025 and scale up to 2,000 crore rupees. Thailand's Minor Hotels to expand in India, with 50 hotels by 2035. Thailand-based Minor International PLC, the parent company of Minor Hotels, has outlined an ambitious expansion plan for India, aiming to launch 50 properties by 2035. The group, which operates over 540 hotels globally, has already marked its presence with the recent opening of the Anantara Jewel Bagh in Jaipur. Minor Hotels plans to expand its luxury brands such as Anantara, Avani, and NH Collection across India, focusing on Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. The company has also inaugurated a regional office in Bengaluru and appointed Vijay Krishnan as Vice President of Operations for India to spearhead its local initiatives. DMart leases 35,000 square feet at Migzun Migente Mall. Expanding footprint in Ghaziabad, DMart has leased a 35,000 square feet space at Migzun Migente Mall in Ghaziabad, marking its continued expansion in the National Capital Region, NCR. Located in Rajnagar Extension, the mall offers excellent connectivity and high footfall, making it ideal for DMart's focus on affordable groceries and daily essentials. This move aligns with the retailer's strategy of targeting high-density residential areas. The retail real estate market in Ghaziabad is experiencing strong growth, with malls attracting major brands. DMart's entry further highlights the increasing demand for large-format stores in well-connected urban centers. Grand Continent Hotels IPO opens with strong grey market buzz and expansion plans. Grand Continent Hotels opened its initial public offering, IPO, for subscription earlier this week, aiming to raise 74 crore 40 lakh rupees through a combination of fresh equity shares and an offer for sale by its promoter. The price band has been set between 107 rupees and 113 rupees per share, with the grey market signaling stable interest at the upper price limit. The proceeds from this small and medium enterprise (SME) IPO will primarily be used to reduce debt and fund expansion plans across India. The company's consistent financial growth and its mid-scale hospitality operations across multiple cities could attract retail and high-net-worth individual investors. Toll rates on Samruddhi Expressway to rise by 19%, impacting Mumbai-Nagpur commuters. The Maharashtra State Road Development Corporation, MSRDC, has announced a 19% hike in toll rates on the Samruddhi Mahamarg Expressway, effective from the next fiscal year. The expressway spans 701 kilometers, connecting Mumbai and Nagpur, with the current operational stretch covering 625 kilometers from Nagpur to Igatpuri. The final segment, from Igatpuri to Amane, is expected to open soon, reducing travel time between the two cities to just 8 hours. Under the revised toll structure, light motor vehicles will pay 2 rupees and 6 paise per kilometer, raising the Nagpur-Igatpuri toll from 1,080 rupees to 1,290 rupees. Charges for heavier vehicles will also increase accordingly. Mumbai News. MMRDA clarifies tree felling figure for Uttan Metro Depot is less than 4,000. The Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, MMRDA, has clarified that fewer than 4,000 trees will be felled for the proposed Metro 9 car depot at Uttan, Mira Bhayandar. This clarification follows earlier reports suggesting nearly 10,000 trees would be cut, which had sparked significant backlash from environmentalists and locals. MMRDA officials stated that the initial figures represented two separate proposals submitted to the Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation, MBMC. But only 3,716 trees would ultimately be axed, while the rest would be transplanted or spared. Despite this reduction, concerns remain about the ecological impact and the transparency of the process. SVP to buy London office building at 60% discount amid market recalibration. Strategic Value Partners, SVP, has agreed to purchase the Senator office building in the City of London for over 60 million British pounds, 77,800,000 US dollars, a 60% discount from its initial 157 million British pounds asking price in 2021. The building, located at 85 Queen Victoria Street, underwent refurbishment but remained only partially occupied. The deal highlights ongoing pressure in the office real estate market, where older or non-prime assets are losing value amid shifting occupier preferences toward modern, sustainable buildings. SVP's acquisition reflects opportunistic investor interest, betting on future recovery driven by limited supply and increasing office occupancy. Japan's land prices rise 2.7%, marking fastest growth since 1991. Japan's land prices have been rising steadily for the past 4 years, signaling a strong economic recovery. According to a government survey, land prices grew by 2.7% as of January 1, 2024, the fastest increase since 1991. Residential land prices rose by 2.1%, fueled by housing demand, low interest rates, and foreign investment. Commercial land prices increased 3.9%, supported by tourism and redevelopment projects in cities like Kyoto and Osaka. The industrial sector led with 4.8% growth, driven by e-commerce and semiconductor manufacturing. Despite concerns over rising construction costs and potential interest rate hikes, Japan's land market continues to strengthen. That's a wrap for today. Tune in tomorrow for the latest headlines.